Thank you. Thank you very much. Is the audio okay? Can you just...
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. So, greetings to everyone, all the dignitaries, all the speakers, participants. First of all, my apologies that I'm not here in person. This is a theme or a topic very close to my heart, and I would have loved to be there, listen to all of you, but there are too many things happening today. And but I'm grateful that I've been given this opportunity to interact with you virtually. First of all, I would like to congratulate IMT and Varchusa for putting this event together. This is very timely, very appropriate, and the focus on net zero is something which should be a very important priority for everyone. I would like to share a few things about what is happening, what is there in the thinking of the government. See, all of you are aware that Honorable Prime Minister has committed that India will become net zero by 2070. For many years, India has avoided making any such commitment, and it was getting sidetracked by various other issues like who will fund it and this and that, and what is the burden on developing countries versus developed countries and stuff like that. So India used to be criticized also that you are not committing anything, you are sidetracking the issues, you are kind of doing all kinds of things to avoid making a commitment. But finally, the Prime Minister has gone ahead and said that India will become net zero by 2070. And obviously, as the Prime Minister of the country, he has a national understanding of which are the states which are lagging behind, what are the sectors where a lot has to be done. So obviously, his commitment will be based on some solid data, facts, understanding, expert advice, and so on and so forth. But there are many states where, including our state of Telangana, where we feel that this can be done much, much faster, because we have done various other things which have laid a good foundation for us. And why wait till 2070? Why can't we do it earlier? So I can share this with you. Of course, the point that I'm making is not yet the official position of our government. We have done some back of the envelope calculations. It is, as I said, not backed by any scientific analysis or study, but some back of the envelope calculation shows that we actually in Telangana can become net zero by 2047 itself. And as all of us know, 2047 is a big milestone for our country. And imagine when the country is becoming 100 years, can a state say that I have become net zero? I mean, how wonderful will that be? So that is what we are striving at, that can we actually commit to an earlier target, far earlier target. We not wait till 2070, do it earlier, because of the fact that there are certain things which have happened well in the state. For example, for the last 10 years, you would be aware there is a program called Harita Haram. And even before that, in the combined Andhra Pradesh, plantation, etc., was done in a very solid and a very systematic way. We have rejuvenated lots of water bodies in the state. There is a cool roof policy, which is followed by the Urban Development Department. I have introduced an electric mobility and an EV policy, sustainability policy, which also has yielded some very good results. The penetration of, at least in the two-wheelers sector, in the mobility category with electric vehicles is pretty high, and we are hoping that there'll be a similar breakthrough for the four-wheelers and heavy vehicles like trucks and buses, etc. So we are very confident that whatever is the scientific number which we get, it could be 2047, it could be even earlier. Ideally, if it is 2047, that will be wonderful. It is achievable, it is doable. So that is where we are going to concentrate on. But obviously, one other thing to share with all of you is that if you have decided to do something by 2047, three things are required. One, of course, is to take stock of where you are today. If you have to make something zero, where are you today? What is your current stock? What is your current status? That is one stock taking exercise, which is very, very important. Unless you know the baseline, how will you decide or analyze or evaluate that you are making progress or you are stagnating? The second important thing is that net zero goals will be achieved by intervention in various sectors. It is not one thing which will make you net zero. there are multiple things which contribute to net zero: vehicular pollution, building activities, agricultural practices, industrial activities, individual behavior. So many, at least there are a dozen plus areas which can be items for intervention. So one has to look at multiple areas through which intervention will be possible. And the third very important fundamental thing to understand is that if you have to achieve something by 2047, it is not that you keep sleeping till 2046 and suddenly at the last minute you wake up and you hope that some miracle happens and suddenly we become net zero. Obviously, nothing of that will happen. If you have to achieve something by 2047, you have to start now. There has to be a roadmap. So these three are very fundamental things. What is your current stock? Which are the areas in which you will intervene? And what is the annual roadmap? Some things have to be done in, we are in 2024 now. Some things have to start today. Some more things have to start tomorrow. Much more things have to start day after, and so on and so forth. There has to be a very clear roadmap with defined milestones. Now, when I speak about the areas in which intervention is required, obviously, not everything is easy. In English, there is a phrase called low-hanging fruits. So not everything is a low-hanging fruit. Some are for sure, like doing more plantation and all is an easy thing to do because already we have set a culture in our state to plant trees, to protect trees, to maintain them. That can be continued. But we also have some very challenging kind of areas also where costs are involved. If you want to do something, the costs of doing all that will be very high. And is the government prepared to put that cost? Is the cost benefit really worth it? And suppose we feel that there are certain things which are too complicated, there are too many stakeholders, costs are high, it will be difficult to move the needle, then can we leave that but overcompensate in some other way? So various ways of looking at all these problems are there. So this is where we are. We are serious about becoming a net zero state. We want to take stock. We want to identify areas where interventions are required. We want to create roadmap, but we want to do it with lots of expertise and understanding, etc. And when I mentioned earlier that I really miss being there, this is what really I miss. That there could be so many experts who understand net zero, who could have interacted with us, who could have guided us, who could have told us that we would be happy to contribute in this particular journey of yours. So I miss all that, but nevertheless, since I'm not there, I would request the organizers, mostly Krishna Yadula Garu and Professor Sriharsha Reddy Garu, to pull out some of the agencies, some of the organizations, some of the people who have this kind of alignment with what we are doing, and maybe connect with them, connect me to them at a later point in time so that we can consult them. We also would like to create some kind of an expert group. And also, as I said, the roadmap has to be monitored continuously because this is something in which miracles are not going to happen. Unless you do defined activities at specific times and do it in a very perfect way, execution is the key. Things will just not happen. So how do you ensure that a group is available which monitors all these activities regularly? So I look forward to engaging with all of you. I would request both Virtusa and IMT not to see this as a one-off kind of an event. You hosted something, then everyone forgets about it. But follow this track very seriously and sincerely, because this is something which is required, important for the country as a whole, and also important for Telangana, as I mentioned. So I will stop with this, but I convey my best wishes to the sessions. I hope to interact with you on some other occasion, but till then, goodbye from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your insights. It's indeed the collective effort that will help us all to achieve the net zero goal. So now let me call Mr. Suchet Davaluri on dais, please. We have had the honor of having him with us here. Please, sir. Thank you. All right, moving on. I now invite Dr. Saurabh Bhattacharya, Chairperson, Center for Sustainability and CSR, to introduce the theme of the summit. Welcome, sir.